Hi, everyone. I'm Omid Small, Customer Success Manager here at Integral. Thank you for joining us for this live deployment of MariaDB 10 on Ubuntu 22.04 with the power of Azure. You may remember me from our live migration of CentOS 8 in-place upgrade, or most recently, our demonstration of WordPress 6 on Azure. And with me today, I have Andrea.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Navarro, a customer success manager here at Integral. You might remember me from my previous video on the deployment of our Hyper-V server 2022. But today I'll be joining Omid deploy MariaDB. I'm excited to discuss this deployment further in detail.
And before we jump in, we'll give you a bit of a history of who we are at Integral. We're an Atlanta-based IT and consulting organization with 20 plus years of consulting experience. We have over 200 solutions on the Azure Marketplace that are sold globally. These enterprise workload solutions support large businesses, governments, and nonprofits. And today, we're going to demonstrate a live deployment of Integral's managed application, MariaDB 10, on Azure. Andrea and I are going to show an end-to-end demonstration, and it should only take about 30 minutes. Please feel free, if you're joining us live, to comment or ask any questions throughout the demonstration. Or if you're viewing this video at a later date, feel free to reach out to me directly at success@integral.com.
So what is MariaDB exactly?
So, MariaDB is a popular open source relational database management system. It's a database specifically targeted for enterprise scaled applications on Azure. As MariaDB is forked from MySQL, there are many similarities in the two relational database management systems. For instance, MariaDB has kept MySQL structure, naming conventions, and data definition files. Additionally, it supports all MySQL connectors, connections, and ports. So your MySQL client package works unchanged with MariaDB.
And what are some key features of MariaDB?
So some of the key features with MariaDB are going to include the compatibility with MySQL for its easy migration from MySQL, high performance, including enhanced read, write, and query optimization. It supports NoSQL-like commands, and it has dynamic columns with flexible schema-less data structures. So let's go ahead and start that deployment. And Andrea, let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see your screen.
Perfect. So if you're here at the Azure Marketplace, you're going to type in Integral MariaDB. Let's make sure we type that in correctly. That's Ntegrante. Oh, excuse me. MariaDB. And we'll hit enter. And today we're working with MariaDB 10 on 22.04. We're going to hit get it now, and we'll hit continue. And we'll click create. Now, when we're at this page, we're going to enter in the subscription, the resource group, and the region. And today we're going to be working out of East US since we're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. Next, you're going to add in your virtual machine name, disk size, and application name. We're just going to get rid of some of these extra characters, and we'll click next. When you're at the administration screen, you're going to enter in your username and password. and we'll click Next. At the database configuration screen, we'll enter in the database name, database user, and password. And we'll click Next. Now at the networking screen, you'll connect to the network that's appropriate for your organization. Ours are pre-selected, so we're going to click Next. And at the tag screen, this is where you're going to tag the resource for any billing purposes for your organization. We won't need that for today's deployment, so we'll click Next. We're going to scroll down. We're going to agree to the terms and conditions, and we'll hit Create. And now our deployment's in progress.
So while MariaDB is spinning up in the cloud, here are some users that benefit the most from MariaDB. We have our database administrators, DevOps engineers, small and medium business size, startups, educational institutions, government and nonprofit organizations, and web developers. So Omid, what makes MariaDB managed application unique?
So some of the features that make MariaDB unique for Integral is going to be our increased operational efficiency for great productivity. It's data-driven decision-making, auto-scaling, informed insights into customer analytics, and load balancing capabilities.
And what does Integral use Ubuntu 20? So why do we use Integral's Ubuntu 22.04 on Azure?
So one of the reasons that we use it is because Ubuntu is very user-friendly. And I know we did talk about it being a managed application. So one of the reasons that it is an Azure managed application is a resource that's deployed to a managed resource group. And it's managed by the app's publisher, which in this case is us here at Integral.
And a second ago, you mentioned that Integral's MariaDB is on Ubuntu. So can you please explain why that is?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we are using Ubuntu with it being a Linux distribution, and it is very user-friendly and very easy to use.
And for those who are just joining us, we are spinning up MariaDB on Ubuntu on Azure. So I know that you mentioned MariaDB is compatible and comparable to MySQL, but what or how is MariaDB differentiate from MySQL?
Yes, so MariaDB is compatible, but it's an enhanced version of MySQL. It includes many features and improvements beyond what's available in MySQL, and it's designed to be a drop-in replacement. Additionally, you can migrate to MariaDB by simply replacing MySQL with MariaDB.
So if you are new to Azure, some benefits of Integral's managed application includes integrations with other Azure services. This includes services like Microsoft Entra, formerly known as Azure AD, Azure Monitor for monitoring and diagnostics, and Azure Security Center for enhanced security.
Additionally, Azure offers a flexible and scalable environment where you can pay for what you use. So if your business suddenly grows, you can quickly scale up by renting more resources. Conversely, if you need to decrease, you can scale down and pay less. And that's perfect for this time of year with Cyber Monday as well as Black Friday.
So just to dig into some questions, what specific use case or application will the MariaDB deploy serve?
It's a great question. So some of the most common scenarios where MariaDB deployment is well suited include web apps, content management systems, e-commerce platforms, business applications, and data warehousing. And it looks like our resource just completed. So we're going to click into Go to Resource. We're going to click into Managed Resource Group, and we're going to select our virtual machine. We're going to connect to our virtual machine. And today we're going to use a native SSH. We're going to copy and execute the SSH command in our terminal. Now, Andrea, let me know when you can see my terminal.
I can see it.
Perfect. So we'll paste in the SSH command, and here it's going to ask us to connect, and we're going to type in yes. And we're going to enter in our password. Now that we're connected to the machine, let's run a few commands to make sure that we have everything that we need. So this first command is to make sure that we have the correct version of Ubuntu. And as you can see, we're running Ubuntu 22.04 Jammy Jellyfish. Now let's make sure that we have MariaDB installed as well. We'll enter in a command to do that. And if you do run into this error, we'll enter in a command to make sure that we install MariaDB. Now we're going to go ahead and get that installed, and we'll check the chat to see if there's any questions.
Yes, let me see here. So I have a question here. How can I encrypt data in transit?
That's a great question. So MariaDB supports the use of SSL TLS to encrypt data transmitted between the client and the server. You can enable SSL by configuring the MariaDB server and ensuring that clients also support SSL.
Awesome. And I see another question here. What types of data does MariaDB support? And are there any specialized data types?
Yeah, so MariaDB supports a range of data types, including numeric, string, date and time, spatial, JSON, and binary types. Additionally, it offers specialized data types such as UUID, bit, and national character set types to cater to a diverse data requirements.
Okay, and I think we have one more question here. Can you implement high availability through clustering or replication?
That's a great question. I'm still working to make sure that we are getting our MariaDB installed, but high availability through clustering or replication, it can be achieved actually through both clustering using solutions like Galera Cluster for synchronous multi-master replication and traditional replication for asynchronous data propagation between servers. The choice between clustering and replication actually depends on the factors such as consistency requirements, scalability needs, and the desired level of automation and failover. So let's run this command here, and we'll get MariaDB installed. And as you can see, it doesn't take very long to get it installed. Once this reaches 100%, we can continue with the live demonstration. And one of the great things about working in Linux is that we won't have to restart the virtual machine if we need to install anything. We can just go ahead and install our application. And as you can see, our command line is ready. So let's go ahead and check on the version. And as you can see, we are running 10.6, but like Andrea and I mentioned earlier in the deployment, MySQL is compatible. So let's run a command here just to show that. And as you can see, MariaDB and MySQL, both 10.6. So let's go ahead and log into the database. And let's check the status on MariaDB as we get ready to log into our database. All right, and now let's go ahead and log in. Everything looks like it's good to go. Now that we're in the database, let's show the pre-installed databases. And if you guys didn't know, it's peanut butter month, and my favorite food is peanut butter. So we're actually going to create a database for peanut butter. And let's run that command again to show you that that peanut butter database has been created. And there you have it. Peanut butter has been added. And guys, if you know any peanut butter recipes, or even better, any peanut butter cookie recipes, drop that in the chat or email that over to us. Andrea, that was really simple.
Yes, it was. Let's see if we have any questions. I do have one here. How can I control access to MariaDB?
So that's a really great question. You know, you can control access through a privileged system of control and database and tables. Database administrators actually control that access and can grant or revoke privileges to users, restricting their access based on specific requirements. And I think that may be all the questions that we have.
Actually, we
No.
have one more
Oh, awesome.
question. Yeah. What security features does MariaDB offer for data protection?
So that's a great question. Let's see. And I'm just making sure.
From what I've known, MariaDB provides robust data protection through features such as authentication and authentication controls, encryption, and rest in transit. So let's see here if we have any more questions. I think that's all the questions we have.
Well, thank you everyone for being with us today in this live virtualization of MariaDB 10 on Ubuntu 22.04. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me at success@integral.com. And thank you, Andrea, for joining me today.
No, thank you so much, Omid, for showing us how easy it is to deploy Integral's managed application, MariaDB. And please join me with my coworker Natish for our upcoming migration and virtualization of our Integral's Hyper-V server 2022 on December 13th. And thank you so much for everyone for joining us today.